So at the end of the day, the major finding of the Supreme Court, the major even in the judgment, is that the leases were the deemed extension of the leases after 2007 was improper.
Correct.
Right? And that was the judgment they delivered in April. Till that day, there was this particular interpretation of deemed extension was available throughout the country, whether it was the first extension or first renewal, second renewal or third renewal.
जेन्ना सुप्रीम कोर्ट म्हणटा की 2007 उपरांत तुम्ही जितलोय बिझनेस केला, जितली ऑपरेशन्स केल्या ती सगळी इल्लीगल. हाऊ डज इट मेक यू फील?
They've said all mining after 2007 is illegal because the lease has expired and there is no deemed extension. As I've said earlier, this was not the law till the Supreme Court announced it on 14th of April 2014.
This interpretation did not exist.
Absolutely. Before that, the whole country, I mean, whether it be Goa, whether it be Karnataka, Orissa, Andhra, Rajasthan, and even the Ministry of Mines, they themselves, everybody was believed that a deemed extension is available, whether it's first renewal, second renewal, third renewal.
Correct.
Going back to the provision of deemed renewal, why was this introduced? Once upon a time, there was in the Act provided that if you applied for a renewal and you didn't get your renewal, or the government did not react to it or did not respond to it, it was deemed refusal. In the sense, it was deemed that your lease ceased or was determined. The Ministry of Mines at the central government realized that this was creating a lot of hardships for mining, creating hardships for the supply chain where the steel plants were involved. And so they decided to amend it. And they amended it to say that till it is refused,
Yeah.
or till a government takes a decision on it, it's deemed to be extended.
Correct.
So this was the interpretation. Now it's unfortunate that in the case of Goa, this interpretation was given on the 14th of April this year, and the government said that it is, or the Supreme Court said that all mining is illegal.
How much do you feel Goa Foundation is responsible for this stay and this ban?
No, I think first I would still like to address this issue of when you say all mining is illegal. I would like to even clarify that the Supreme Court has not said all the ore extracted after 2000 belongs to the state.
Barabar.
All the Supreme Court has said is that the excavated ore, which is inventorized, only that, the proceeds from that will belong to the state government.
Correct.
And if like everybody else is going about saying that all the ore produced from 2007 belongs to the state government, including the export proceeds or the sales proceeds, I can't reconcile this stand or statement by the general public when the Supreme Court itself has said that we will be paid excavation costs for the ore which is inventorized and which is being e-auctioned by the government. I mean, you can't reconcile this.
Yeah, if it is illegal, where is the question of giving that production cost?
Correct. So I think the Supreme Court realized, to my mind, that's my interpretation, that realized that by virtue of the new interpretation, the fresh interpretation of the section by the Supreme Court of 8382, whatever the sections are, the mining community in Goa has been put to a hardship. But there's nothing that they can do because they've interpreted the law. So, and hence they said, all right, at least pay them the excavation cost, which is I think logical, and which vindicates our stand that all the mining, all the proceeds belong to the mining companies, except for the.
It is not strictly illegal.
No, it is not. Yeah, correct.
दुसरी गजाल गोवा फाउंडेशन आता जावं तुमकां प्रश्न तुम्ही गोवा फाउंडेशनाक कितली रिस्पॉन्सिबल धरतात फॉर दिस एंटायर एपिसोड?
See, as far as I'm concerned, I don't hold anybody responsible. I think who is responsible, who is not responsible, the world knows, right? I don't need to say anything. I hold my luck responsible for the situation that I am in.
तांचं एलिगेशन असता मायनिंग इंडस्ट्रीचेर की अति जाल्लें सगळ्यांचें आनी अति जालें म्हणून ही माती जाली. दॅट इज द युज्युअल टोन दॅट दे स्पीक विथ.
अति जाले म्हणना ते म्हणटा सगळेच चोर.
ते आता 35,000 करोडा उपरांत सगळेच चोर न्ही.
नाही सॉरी तांच्यानी जर अति जाल्ले म्हणटा तुम्ही कमी करा म्हणटा तो प्रश्न वेगळो असलो. ते म्हणटा सगळे चोर मायनिंगूच बंद करा ना ते योग्य.
रिसेंटली दे हॅव सेड की तुम्ही रिस्ट्रिक्टेड हातूंत भितर कमी हातूंत भितर करात. नाव दॅट दे हॅव चेंज दियर स्टँड ओवर अ पिरियड.
I appreciate that stand. Everybody is entitled to make a mistake. And if Goa Foundation had made a mistake and they've come down to realize that yes, there is legal mining, there's proper mining should start, I'm very, very happy. Because it's, after all, let's face it, I'm a Goan. I've lived in Goa all my life and I don't intend going anywhere, running away from here. So I'm responsible, I'm answerable, and I'm sort of, I know that, I owe to the state.
म्हाका गजाल एक गजाल जेन्ना सगळे जाण म्हणटात की अति जाल्लें म्हणून पळय जो गजाल येता तुमकां दिसता अति जाल्लें कारण तुमी फाटली ऑलमोस्ट 40 वर्सां तुमी स्वता कारभार पळयतात. अशी कारभार पळयतना फ्रॉम दे 10 ते 12, 15, 18, 22, 25 हें जावप आनी मागीर खंय तरी ते 54 पावप 54 मिलियन तुमकां दिसता की इल्लें मायनिंग इंडस्ट्री मातशी ओवरबोर्ड गेली.
I would certainly agree with you. अति जालें म्हणलें कितें आसा सेल्फ रेग्युलेशन इज एब्सोल्युटली एसेंशियल. You can't blame the government, you can't blame the NGOs, you can't blame the public. I think the 54 level of export, I think tons was a little too much of a burden on the infrastructure. लोकांक गैरसोय खूब जावपाक लागली. प्रत्येक गांवांनी लोकांची गैरसोय जावपाक लागली. गाडयांचे ट्रकाचे लायनी लागपाक लागल्यो आनी जालें कितें लोकांक प्रश्न जालो कितें हें एक 35चे 40, 40चे 45, 45, 55 लोकांक अपेक्षा जाली की सगळें वाडत रावतलें म्हणून. आनी मागीर कोण ट्रक घेता आनी कोण एक मागीर गांवांतली इन्वेस्टमेंट करत रावले ट्रक घेत रावले मशिनरी घेत रावले आनी मागीर ते मागीर ताका ट्रक दिवपाचे म्हणटा ताका प्रत्येकाक एक एक ट्रीप ते मारता म्हणजे ते लायनीन उबे रावपाक लागले. इट्स अति म्हणल्यार कोणी मायनिंग कंपनीन केलें सगळ्यांनी अति केलें.
प्रत्येक लेवलाचेर ते अति
जालें आनी ताका लागून
म्हाका एक गजाल कारण जेन्ना इल्लिगॅलिटीचो प्रश्न येता आमची मायनिंग कंपनी हांगा आसात. यू आर फेसिंग एवरीथिंग.
मिनरल रिसोर्सेस have become a very politically sensitive issue. So, it's expected.
तुम्ही सगळे जाण फेस करतात. म्हणजे बेसिक मुद्दो हें आशिल्लो की कसली गजाल मागीर इन्क्वायरी आसूं SIT आसूं एनफोर्समेंट डिरेक्टरेट आसूं सगळे एजन्सी येतात आनी प्रोब करतात. यू आर फेसिंग ऑल दी प्रोब. ऑल दी कंपनीज आर हियर. देर इज अ क्वेश्चन जेन्ना इल्लिगॅलिटी हे जे ट्रेडर्स आशिल्ले जे मदींच तयार जाल्ले मे इट बी अ पार्ट अँड रिजल्ट ऑफ अ करप्ट सिस्टम ऑर वॉट एवर यू मे से दे हॅव वेनिश्ड दे हॅव इवॅपोरेटेड. अशी परिस्थिती भितर तुमकां खरेंच दिसता की जे इल्लिगॅलिटी भितर आशिल्ले तांकां पनिश करप शक्य आसा?
जाय गव्हर्मेंटाक जाय जाल्यार शक्य आसा. Even in e-auction, there are some traders who have allowed to participate, who have got cases against them. So that's a dichotomy I can't really understand.
एटलीस्ट ती गजाल करपाक जाताली. जांचेर केसी आहात तांकां सद्या तरी हें करना.
You keep them out, न्ही. So that the least one could have expected.
दुसरी गजाल जी की शाह कमिशनाचो थर्ड रिपोर्ट आयलो दे हॅव एक्युज्ड ऑल दी कंपनीज ऑफ अंडर इनवॉयसिंग.
करेक्ट.
सो हाऊ आर यू लुकिंग एट दॅट एलिगेशन जंय तो सांगता की बाय पळय हांगा तुमी मुद्दम अंडर इनवॉयस केलें हांगा मुद्दम अंडर एंड एवरी कंपनी इज देयर.
So fair enough. So as and when somebody calls us to explain, we'll explain. Because
you feel that there is no irregularity there.
I'm just trying to explain. Each contract is between a buyer and a seller.
Barabar.
There are different dates on which you have entered contracts. There are different grades that you have entered into a contract. There are various other terms and conditions. FE, price is not determined only by the FE content. It's also determined by the impurities. So all these factors go in determining the cost. So as and when authorities call on us, I'm sure all of us will be able to explain.
की ओवरऑल जी केस सुरू जाली ती शाह कमिशनाच्या रिपोर्टाचेर सुरू जाली आनी अल्टिमेटली जेन्ना सुप्रीम कोर्टान निर्णय दिलो तेन्ना सुप्रीम कोर्टान स्वताच्याच निर्णया भितर तो रिपोर्ट खंय तरी कन्सिडर केलो ना. बट डोंट यू थिंक दिस इज अ व्हेरी स्ट्रेंज कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन की केस स्टार्ट्स ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द रिपोर्ट एंड एंड्स बाय नॉट कन्सिडरिंग द रिपोर्ट?
As I told you, that's the destiny of mining companies or anybody dealing in natural resources. So you are subject to scrutiny beyond what you got to be holier than the Pope to be in this business today.
बेजार येता, यू फील डिजेक्टेड बाय सो मेनी प्रोब, सो मेनी SITs, खंयच्यान प्रत्येक कडच्यान हें येता.
पण कितें की एका सोक्ष मोक्ष लागले जाल्यार बरें न्ही. आता कशाला धंदो बंदूच आसा. ते सोमते सोक्ष मोक्ष जावन 6 म्हयने दिले जाल्यार बरें, पण सोक्ष मोक्ष काबार जाल्यार बरें एका फावटी. ना ते उठले सुटले सदांच एक किटकिट नाका.
फाटले तुमचे एक 40 वर्सांच्या कारकिर्दी भितर दिस इज द पिरियड विच हॅज गिवन यू मोस्ट टेन्शन.
टेन्शन
बिझनेसा भितर तशी चढ उतार असतात, बट इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ बिझनेस. दिस इज अ पिरियड
uncertainty, tension. Basically, as to when will it start? What is it that you need to, to convince people that, you're okay? I'll give an example. Pramod, आता म्हणतात तू, I've got 4 of my, in the first lot, I've got 4 leases that are renewed. Now, the same leases, I had got a order of renewal way back in 2009. The only reason they were not executed, as I said, the lease was not executed because the state government could not determine the amount of stamp duty. So it's basically the state government's inability to decide on the stamp duty that delayed the execution of the lease, for which I was held responsible. Okay, at that particular point of time, the government applied Section 8(2), which is applicable.
Correct.
But the process required for 8(2) and the process required for 8(3) is the same. In terms of the steps required.
Correct.
So, I was penalized, or our company was penalized rather, for a situation which was beyond my control. So, going forward, I hope and pray that such things don't happen.
म्हाका लास्ट गजाल सांगात, सामकी महत्वाची. फाटले 2-2.5 वर्सां भितर what is the gross loss Goan economy has suffered?
See, I can only estimate.
Yeah, what is the estimate?
See, if I say that 35 million tons of ore is produced, would have been produced, or would have been exported, not produced, would have been exported. And let's say average price, between the last 2 years for 5650 was something like, $75, and you consider whatever. I think something like 31,000 crores of gross revenue to the nation is the loss. And out of which I would say 10,000 crores is the export duty alone. And 1,800 crores would have been the royalty payable to the Goa government, in addition to various other, VAT and service taxes, etc.
So, Shivana, what are you necessarily telling me ki in that त्या बोवाळा भितर 35,000 कोटी धरपाचे बोवाळा भितर आमी आनी 31,000 कोटी गमावन बसले?
गोवन गेले न्ही आमचे. आनी जालें कितें आतां परत येवपाचें ना, बिकॉज हे सगळें लो ग्रेडवर आतां विकपाचें ना.
देयर इज नो मार्केट.
नो मार्केट. सो नाव आतां ते इतले वर्सां पळय डंप जाल्ले कितें आमचे, इतले वर्सां मार्केट नासलें म्हणून. हे मार्केट आसलें तें आमी मार्केट वगडान उडयलें. आतां तुका मार्केट ना, तो माल बसून आमी पळोवपाचो तो बाबा आनी केन्नाय चायना नाल्यार आनी कोण येतले म्हणून. म्हाका दिसना हांचे फुडें कितें जायत म्हणून, बिकॉज देर इज नो बिगर market or bigger country than China to have such
that can come up with such a huge demand
and which will need so much of iron.
बरें, म्हाका लास्ट सांगात, any diversification plans?
पयली डायवर्सिफिकेशन पयली जाग्यार घालया, मागीर मागीर
नवीन प्लॅन मागीर
करया.
नवीन प्लॅन मागीर करया. सो तुमी एक गोंयकाराक सांगतात की हो सिजनाची अपेक्षा दवरनाका, ताचे मुखाल्ले सिजनाकूच आमी कितें पळोवया.
तो म्हजो एक अंदाज. पूण हांव म्हजो अंदाज जर चुकत,
this is you are saying that I will be more than happy.
more than happy. म्हजे तर फाल्यां तर चुकत हो अंदाज, I will be more than happy.
विंटर सोबत हांव इतलेंच सांगता की 40 वर्सांच्या अनुभवा भितर तुमचो अंदाज चुकतलो हाजेर कोणाचोच विश्वास ना. एक वेळ सरकाराचो चुकपाक शकता, तुमचो चुकचो ना.
सरकाराचो न्ही, सरकाराक जर जाय जाल्यार फटाफट जावंक शकता न्ही.
तरी आसतना म्हाका दिसता तुमची 40 वर्सां तुमी खूब सरकाराय पळयल्यात, सिस्टम्सूय पळयल्यात. सो व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट. म्हाका दिसता तुमी सांगले ती गजाल खरी की एप्रील तुमी सुरू जातलें दिसता, बट अल्टिमेटली ते फूल फ्लॅश सुरू जावपाक नेक्स्ट सिजनूच येवचो पडटलो.
म्हाका
दॅट इज द थिंग. आयले म्हाका दिसता पयलो डिटेल्ड तुमचो टेलिव्हिजन इंटरव्यू हे सगळें जातकीर, आनी इतली बरी आमकां मुलाखत दिली. फ्रँक, थँक्स अ लॉट. इट वॉज प्लेजर टॉकिंग.
प्लेजर इज मायन. थँक्यू.